Hey nerds, and welcome to The Gutter. My name is Steve-O. This is episode 13 of the Gutter Nerds podcast. With me as always is Mud. It's clean and dirty at the same time. It's a line from Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Joining me today is the prettiest podcaster we've ever had, Jonathan Bernardez. JB. He knew it was coming.
Oh, shucks.
And from our Hardcore Diablo 3 series, you may know her as Crazy Cat Lady, it's Whitney!
Hey!
And today we're going to be talking about the movie-game relationship and the complicated movie-game... It's complicated.
If it was a Facebook status, it was a Facebook relationship, it's complicated.
It's complicated. But first, what have you guys been playing? What have you been watching? What media have you been ingesting?
Okay.
And digesting?
There's this game on my phone that is literally the biggest waste of time ever.
Super Mario Run.
No. It's called Adventure Capitalist. And it is...
Adventure Capitalist?
Adventure Capitalist.
That's cute. I like that.
It's... You watch bars go across the screen, and you get richer, and then you have to invest more money to get richer, and then that's all. There's not a real goal.
So it's Rich Person Simulator.
Sort of. It's
you have enough money to invest and return, and that's it. You just watch the money make more money.
It's super addictive. I was introduced to it by a friend, and he's like, this is the greatest game. It's so much fun. And I played it, and I was like, this game sucks. And then 5 hours later, it's like, I mean, it still sucks, but...
Can you translate that into actually playing the stock exchange?
No. Here,
no?
let me. I'll show you.
Sure.
While we're here.
Yeah. I'd love to see. Is it? So as gamers though, we've been conditioned with RPGs and stuff to watch meters build and watch numbers rise.
Yes.
And we get a kick out of just that. Mm. So if there's a game that is just the graph rising.
I have 2,401 lemonade stands that earn me 758.706 duovigintillion dollars per second, which is more money than the number of atoms in our solar system right now.
Fun fact.
Out of my 2,400...
Those numbers are... You already won.
No. There's a way to win the game, and then you have to go win Mars, apparently. The point is, the game is so stupid, but it's a perfect time. Like I have 5 minutes between classes. I'm like, oh, let's see how much money I made. Yep. Oh, cool. All of it. And then moving on.
It's all made.
So that's the thing that's been sucking up a lot of my time, aside from...
You have enough money to buy Bill Gates' frozen sperm. You're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
What have you been playing or watching?
I've actually been playing.
Yeah?
Well, a little bit. I was inspired by y'all in your GTA heist stream.
Yeah?
Which I really, really, really love watching.
Hey!
Watching listening too.
Those are fun.
So I wanted to learn how to play it.
Right. And I saw you playing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played since then?
I guess not, because Sam and I are thinking about getting me an Xbox One so that we don't have to...
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But I think I did okay. I mean, it was really cool, but it was much more... as a kid growing up playing the original PlayStation, playing Crash Bandicoot and crap like that, it's fun.
You run and you jump.
Yeah, but this was I was getting anxious and I didn't want to die and I didn't want to, I felt really bad.
You want to get people killed?
Yeah, every time I screwed Sam over, I felt really bad.
There's a time where you open the car door and a passing vehicle
he felt really fucking good.
A passing vehicle just rips off the car door, right?
It was so funny.
And Sam's my fucking car!
I think you said that you hadn't seen me laugh that hard in a really long time.
Right, you lost your shit.
Because Sam was like, okay, this is my car, let's try to not beat the hell out of it.
Damage it, please.
And he wanted me to try driving, so I'm
like in Tommy Boy. What'd you do?
I was going all over the place, but I learned pretty quickly. But it was so funny. He had just said be careful with my car, and I opened the door to get out right as this other car comes flying by, and there goes his door, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Jumping into chat here for a second, Chuck says that Crystal's been feeding him Voyager and Enterprise, so he's been going through some Star Trek.
Alicia is in Deep Space Nine right now. I've recently come to love Quark.
And he just started playing Fire Emblem Heroes. Is that game fun?
It is, except I haven't touched it in about a month.
Okay. But it's good.
It's fun.
And June asks, why do Americans always have shoes on inside? The reason is because you keep yelling at us not to play with our feet. So we put shoes on So do you want to see our feet, or do you want to see the shoes?
To be fair, I tend to take my shoes off, but I've been making a self note to keep my shoes on during podcasts because of mentions of feet.
Actually, so if
Just wear socks.
I have
I do,
the cutest cat socks.
but my
on.
socks are like
They have little bows and everything.
if on
my socks are like
so when
smelly.
Are they?
when I'm in carpet, if I go in
Would you
and
like to?
a house is completely
Would you like
carpet,
to?
Yep, I'm good.
I tend to take. Oh, you caught it!
Yeah, I did.
Wow, good job!
I'm
You
sorry.
actually foot bombed her.
Dude, that's impressive because hers fucking stank.
They do not.
But
Okay, I mean,
I will take off
No.
my shoes. I will take off my shoes if a place is carpeted. But our place is not. It's this weird fake hardwood floor.
Yeah, like
and so
vinyl.
it's just got dirt on it. So if I walk around, socks is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I slip.
I mean, I take
But-
off my shoes when I head home. Like, I got home, I walk to the master bedroom, and I have my nice little row of shoes.
Yeah.
I have 3 shoes I have. I have my tennis shoes, I have my morning, like, lounge slippers, and I have my flip-flops.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and
Sam
they're-
has a million pairs of shoes, and they all like are off of his little.
Oh, and I have my boots, my cowboy
Our-
Oh
boots.
yeah.
Our producer says I prefer to be barefoot as much as possible.
Barefoot is good. Barefoot is comfy. And the truth is, I hate being in just socks. I need shoes to, like,
Oh, I like
hold it
being
on.
in just socks.
I would rather be barefoot than in socks.
I have the hands of a debutante, and my feet are not much better. So if I walk on anything remotely, I'm like, "Ow,
Oh.
it hurts." Is my reaction walking barefoot.
That's what Sam doesn't like to have. Like every time I'm like, let's go get pedicures, or like, do you want to like
Oh my
do something
God.
with calluses or whatever? And he's like, no, I want to build up like the rough part so that if I have to run barefoot.
Mhm.
Oh, man, when I was a kid, I'm telling you, ran barefoot down the street all the time. We played hide and seek until, like, 11 p.m. at, like, the age of 10. My feet were just so thick. I could, like, step on, like, pure glass.
Oops,
And
oops.
it wouldn't hurt. Like, on those hot summer days,
Yeah.
like, when the street is, like, literally 115 degrees, barefoot, walk straight down it. Never
I'm
had a
gonna
problem.
bet it's higher than that.
June is immediately regretting.
Well,
But I
It's
get
not
your
that-
point is taken. Your point is taken. Game guy says I don't need shoes. My feet are basically leather on the bottom. Sort of what we're talking about. I do love. Pedicure's the best thing.
Oh,
They
they're
feel
so
good.
good.
but
We should do a podcast where we're all getting pedicures.
Oh, a pedicast. Pedicast.
Petty, not pedocast.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, goodness.
Let's make that vowel extremely important.
Pedicast.
Pedicast.
God.
Because they come with like a leg massage and everything. I mean, it's not just like the
It's true.
mechanics of like fixing your feet, making them nice. It's like it feels so.
The paraffin wax is my favorite part, where they like
Yeah.
rub the hot wax on you and
I
then peel
like
it off.
when they
Son of a bitch.
when they just massage between the toes and just get every little popped, and it's just
They pop your toes?
The joints.
I've had when they they take
Wow.
care of your joints and everything. I mean, like it's just
I have friends that moved to Thailand that do the little fish things that eat all the dead skin off,
Oh, that's-
and they said it's
Oh,
awesome.
whoa.
that's.
They're like little bitty.
that's-
Like, they look like
I
guppies.
would 100% do it. I just don't know that it would feel good.
I just be like going. Like, the whole
I mean,
time.
I've gone skinny dipping in a lake and had fish bite at me before. Like, you're like,
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, no.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
goodness.
I've been playing, and I finally finished Bloodborne because Sam and I were playing through Dark Souls
So
3.
now you're blood-borned.
Bloodborne again is really what it is. This is my second time through it, but I finished like all of the optional shit. I finished the Chalice dungeons, the optional bosses and stuff in there, and then went through and got the extra ending that I hadn't seen the first time. Because when we finished Dark Souls 3, I was like, I'm not done playing this style of game yet. I was still yearning for it. But now that I've done that, I think I'm ready to move on.
You've had that time of your life. You've had that has been experiencing in your life.
The time of my life, and I owe it all to Souls games. Yeah,
But now you're ready to move on.
I'm ready to move on. Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good place. That's a good feeling to have. When you like
I feel like I'm fulfilled.
When you finish the game, you're like, I couldn't have another bite. Fantastic.
Yeah, and
I
accomplished all my
love that
goals.
feeling in a
But
game.
it's good that that happens before you get tired of it, and then you're like, okay, I have to finish this just for the
Here's
sake
a
of
game-
finishing. I know
yes,
that
it gave me
happens.
It happens to me a lot.
The game that gave me the opposite of that. As a kid, I played on the N64 Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. a fantastically fun game when I was a kid. And there was a point in that game that I could never beat. And then I revisited it like 15 years after.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat it in such a short amount of time. And it was so easy to get past that part now. And then the rest of the game was just utter crap.
Really?
And I was like, oh, no, I'm not satisfied at all. Like, I just had game poisoning. Like it.
Wow,
I was like,
really?
No, I should have. I should have said
stopped
no.
so long ago.
Yeah. Like,
Interesting.
It made me sad.
Well, I have a question for you guys. Moving into topic now. What's worse, a movie based on a game or a game based on a movie in general? And chatters, what do you think?
I got this. Games based on movies are by and far worse.
Okay.
Now, there are bad movies based on games, but there are no good games based on movies.
I'll push back a little bit here. GoldenEye.
Shit. Okay. There are seldom good.
Spider-Man 2.
Go on.
And actually...
I've never been more eager to be wrong in my life. Keep going.
I have exceptions to the rule. Is all I have. And so, like, something like Shadow of Mordor, I don't count as a game based on a movie.
No.
Because it's just based on the Lord of the Rings
It's just
franchise.
the universe.
It's
It
not
takes
just
place
the
in
book.
the universe.
Right. It is
yeah.
not a movie tie-in.
Yeah.
Specifically. You had a story that you told me earlier about the game thing where you, like, when you're in the store?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'm drawn to it. When Sam and I go to GameStop, we could be there for entirely too long, but I try to keep myself entertained.
Give me an average here. Like if I go to GameStop, I got 20 minutes in me.
I feel like when Sam and I go, it's probably like closer to 45 minutes. But I have to step out because there are only so many things that I can keep myself entertained with. So
anyway,
yeah, it's okay. But if I'm in a clothing store, I can be in there exceptionally longer. But anyway, so I'm always drawn to the games that have a movie jacket on it because I'm not as likely to know some of the other random games.
Right, you may not recognize Sniper Elite 4 as anything.
But I see Harry Potter and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. Or
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, I've always wanted to try some of the Jurassic Park ones that I've seen. And Star Trek,
Ooh.
I mean, anything Star
I
Trek.
need to play the Telltale Jurassic Park game. That
But
might be the first game I stream when I go Twitch live.
That'd be cool.
Sam and I are always looking at games that we can both play because I can only play certain games. And he always shoots those down. And I get really disappointed because I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool. And he's like, no, they always suck. Always.
He's almost always right, though. Like any movie based on a game is in my experience. Sorry, any game based on a movie.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
in
be
my
clear about
experience has been the most phoned in, reused quick because they had to produce it very quickly to reach the release date time, and it's broken and shitty and awful.
Its sole purpose is to milk off the popularity of a movie.
Right.
And in no way.
It's name recognition.
What about Battlefront? Did that come out? Was that one that would be in that realm of?
No, there are far too many.
Star Wars is a
games.
genre now.
Yeah.
It's like its own.
I just thought that
There
one came out like at the same
There
time.
are
as
few games.
That's
all the
right,
old
though.
games that were like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, the game.
Super
like,
Star Wars.
Like,
Yeah.
we're talking Super NES. Like, since then, they just went ahead and made their own games in the Star Wars universe.
But even so Chuck mentions Batman Begins. Did anybody play Batman Begins?
I can't say I have.
It was on PS2 and Xbox, I believe, and it was a Splinter Cell style game, if I remember right. That's sneaking around, subduing fellers and so on. But
Can't say I have.
I feel like that we probably are in consensus then. But there's been some shit churned out on the movie side, like movies based on games as well.
100%.
So,
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, in terms of the game stuff, there were a couple examples that I gave. Is there anything you've played based on a movie that you actually liked?
A game based on a movie. So, this is going to be stupid. I'm going to go back to Jurassic Park for the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
It barely... I mean, back then, games were not as expansive as they are now. They were, you could beat them in 30 minutes. The average game you could beat in a few hours versus today's games, which take,
40 hours or 30 hours or something. Yeah.
So this one just had to have a story of its own and really borrowed from the title, but they were so short that I didn't feel betrayed by it. Like when I played the Sega Genesis Jurassic Park, I was like, oh man, that's a fun version of a Jurassic Park story. And it didn't impact the movie.
So, if you're going to have a game tied in with a film or based on a film or film franchise, is it better to do its own thing? Just like, this is in that world, we're telling it our own story. Or...
See, now that games are larger, no, you shouldn't do that. Because, and I'm going to always reference this throughout the whole podcast, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, the movie, the game.
Okay. I think we have a visual.
That is my
frame
frame of reference for any argument I essentially have.
Okay.
Because back then with Jurassic Park, the game, it was just really simple.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Huge.
So this was one that this was a game that I actually liked.
Oh god, no, it was awesome.
What?
I feel like I need to play this. And maybe have some alone time with it.
And to clarify, Batman Begins was also on GameCube, Game Guy says. And actually, Byronic Commando, you bring up a good game. I'll get to that in a minute.
So here's the coming up is one of the first reasons why I hate this game.
Okay.
Two main reasons.
So even though the movie was also garbage.
Right, but yeah, the movie was also garbage, but this game right here, this guy, it's basically going, oh, and this happened in the movie too. You just didn't see it.
Oh, and in this cutaway, he fights a lava monster. Holy shit!
What? Crazy, am I right?
Oh my gosh.
Sense worldwide.
That's so graphic.
Yes.
And there's scenes where he jumps a bridge and he'll jump 50 feet onto a helicopter, rip a man out, and stick his head into the blades and and then toss him out and jump 50 feet back onto the platform.
That's sort of what I liked about it, was that it was I'm used to seeing the PG-13 sort of Wolverines, and it was sort of based, it took its,
if this
bones from the
just
movie.
been Wolverine the game, that was hey, X-Men Origins Wolverine is out. People love Wolverine. Let's make our own Wolverine game. That's great. This would have been oh, cool. But the fact
and
that
it's
this
violent
was
as shit.
But this one is the fact that this one is oh, basically this is a sequel and a kind of in-betweenzels of the actual movie. You're supposed to watch this as you're playing this game as
supplemental to the
as
film,
an add-on to the movie.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be, because it makes the movie shit.
He's getting shit ripped out of him too. But cool shit happens in it though.
Yeah, and it would be a great game.
So you're saying standalone, you buy it.
There should be no the movie, the games.
And there's the second thing that you have.
Yes.
I was wondering about the tank top just came out of nowhere.
But
that shows up that shows up when needed.
Right. So you had a huge problem with the fact that it was tied in to a specific film and told parts of that film, and also was pretty different from the film.
Yeah, it just went wacky and cartoony, and it devalues, in my opinion, the movie, regardless of if the movie is good or bad. And then there's a second follow-up sequence I wanted to show.
That's Hugh Jackman, I believe.
Oh yeah,
voicing it.
Yeah, huge jacked man totally did this.
Yeah.
But so.
Neat.
I'm gonna do a bit of a wait for the sequence to reveal itself here.
I really wanted him to slap him with his own hand.
Slap him yourself.
That's more of a Deadpool thing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So, because this is oh yeah, this is the story of X-Men Origins, just expanded, and they're going to introduce a very key component to the X-Men universe here.
Do we need to say? Do we need a spoiler alert?
No, not at all. This movie, the game, came out forever ago.
It was a couple of generations ago. Maybe it was last generation.
But they're going to introduce. This is where, according to them, canonically the Sentinels come in. Even though later on in the other movies, they're no, we never wanted that. But the game guy's no, we decided.
To me, this doesn't bother me because it's you saw the movie, and now let's do just a fantastical expansion of this universe. If you really dug it, that movie, which no one did, But if you did, you can like get a lot more mileage out of it, and you don't, try to headcanon it into the rest of the series. It's just a different perspective, point of view expansion.
You as the player are required to go out of your effort to non-canonize this. But the fact is, it is called X-Men Origins Wolverine, the game, which is basically saying it is the game version of the movie.
Yeah.
It is part of the story.
You can come back to his name.
And so, like, they are tying themselves in on purpose and then forcing you, the gamer, to pull it away.
If I play a game based on a movie, though, and it does all of the same beats of the film, I just watch this fucking... Why would I play the game?
Exactly. That's why they don't need those games. They should have just made Wolverine the game. And they could have used Hugh Jackman anyways, because he's big hit, and people would recognize it, and it would pull popularity to the X-Men Origins movie. But just make it Wolverine the game, and then just do what you want with it.
Is there,
Like, it will still sell because people are like, holy shit, like, X-Men Origins Wolverine came out, and everyone's seeing it, and will eventually be disappointed. And then, oh look, there's a Wolverine the game come out, using Hugh Jackman. Let's enjoy that, too. But it's
Chuck mentions Enter the Matrix, and it takes place between the second and third Matrix films.
Yeah.
And I remember really loving that game.
That wasn't bad. I had fun with that.
How do you feel about a game that bridges two movies?
The same with the Star Wars
The Force Unleashed?
Force Unleashed was super fun.
When did that one come in? Like, where was that in the lineup?
Force Unleashed was after 3. It was before 3 and 4. It was around Rogue One.
Okay.
Yeah, and that actually begs the question, which came first? Well, no. It had to have come before Rogue One.
It had to, if you want to headcanon it in, it has to come before Rogue One, because the game discusses the beginnings of the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
And so the Rebels exist in Rogue One already.
Yeah.
So that's that. Whitney, if they were going to make a game based on a Star Trek universe, which Star Trek timeline or crew or series would really grab you?
No, it would not be TNG. I mean, I love... The Next Generation is my absolute favorite, but one of the things I really...
There's a lot of diplomacy in TNG, so I don't know that would game very well.
So I think it would be Voyager.
I was gonna say you were gonna say Voyager.
Because I just finished re-binging that show, or that series, but it's like they encounter all these new
Was that Janeway or was that Hercules?
Janeway.
Okay.
Anyway. You just got Alicia's attention, by the way. She's on chat like, Voyager? Star Trek?
I love all things Star Trek, but yeah, that would be the most interesting. But you could have a lot of artistic license with that one, because I mean,
you're out in an unexplored part of the universe.
With DS9, you would always have to come like back to the back to the station, presumably. TNG, they were still.
It would be a lot of talking.
DS9 would be a great real-time strategy, like
XCOM,
or accumulating resources type game. Like that's the hub, and you have to like control the sector. DS9 would be a good resource gathering, almost StarCraft.
Was Voyager more actiony?
Yeah. A lot of action, because you had all these new species coming in, a lot of new experiences. Just they were having to defend this ship going through thousands and thousands of light years. So you could have a lot. It would be a very open world type game that would be really interesting.
I think I saw something a while back on an E3 coverage about a Star Trek game that was just like it didn't take place in any particular series. It was just you run the command of a ship, and you get to do your own thing.
And jumping the chat on the heels of what you were saying, Princess Cuddlepants says DS9 would be good for the war.
Oh yeah,
but also says that Voyager could work as well.
That's true.
If you were gonna do TNG, it would probably have to be sort of RPG-ish, like Mass Effect-y, where there's a lot of talking and responding and getting people to like you and not.
It would be
and
diplomacy to Star Trek game.
I'm not against that, but.
It just depends on what you're looking for in a video game.
Yeah. I actually have my example of a game that worked pretty well. is a game called Spider-Man 2. And this was one of the first open worlds that you got to like swing around in this way. So
Yeah,
GTA already existed, and GTA 3, I believe, already existed. But this was, it was breathtaking the way that you
this was
swung through.
amazing.
You have Ash, what's his name? Bruce Campbell, like narrating the game, and he's funny as shit. Like, the game doesn't take itself too seriously and just lets you be Spider-Man, and it's fun. Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, yeah, they sound bored as fuck, and they do terrible jobs. But in general, and the game shows its age a little bit, but before Batman, and the thing is, I think if Insomniac is doing the next Spider-Man game, and they did Jak and Daxter, and I think that they have... I would like them not to mimic the Batman the way that Arkham series was done, but I think they could take some cues from it to see how to successfly
see, and
hero.
The Arkham series is a good example of like we could do the Nick Nolan,
the Nolan verse.
I don't know why I said Nick.
Nick Nolte.
The Nolan verse, and we could make that into its own game.
I can't, for some reason, I'm Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Jesus,
We got
that
there.
was embarrassing. But they just took their own version. They just made us, they were heavily inspired by the high tech, the realism of the Nolan verse, but added on the goofy, silly, like Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy that weren't in the Nolan verse.
right? Yeah.
So they borrowed from the popularity and what was so good about the Nolan movies, but stuck to the heart of Batman itself and made just their own fantastic series of games.
And Spider-Man 2 was based on Spider-Man 2, and it covered pretty much everything. They added some stuff.
Yeah.
But the gameplay was a lot of fun, and that's ultimately why I liked Origins, your X-Men game, that to you was an example of bad.
It just,
was that the gameplay on its own, sort of God of War style, and like, I was not expecting him to land on that guy and that guy to explode into giblets. Like, it was really, sweet! I'm getting to actually cut up people as Wolverine, which I didn't see in the cartoons because it's a kid's show. So you don't see in the movies because they're family shows.
You didn't see in the movies until
I guess it's sort of in 2. It got a little more violent.
You got to see,
and then in Logan, he just.
And in Logan, you saw the blood and you saw the guts.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
So you saw Logan, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're not going to talk about the ending of Logan, but the film itself. Just as a side note,
ends with an N. Moving on.
Yeah, it ends. The film ends. Spoiler alert.
Logan.
It ends with an N. That's good. Just as a quick side note, did you enjoy it, or did you not enjoy it?
I did. I was not expecting.
It's a movie I think
how graphic
I
it would be.
really liked, and I could probably only watch a few times because I think I would hate.
Oh man, that movie was rough. I could only watch it 1, maybe 3 times more max.
Like I could watch it a few more times, and I think it would start to lessen in value. Really? There are certain movies that I watch a lot and like more, and there are certain movies that I watch a lot and start to like less.
Let's talk about now movies based on games. I'm going to read you guys a list of some of them, and you can tell me if you feel like, just in a very general sense, if you've seen it or not, and if you have a favorable opinion, not whether it is good, not whether it is a well-made film, whether you liked it or not. So let's just start there. And the first one, 1993, Super Mario Brothers.
I like it. I like it now because it's so bad.
It's perfect for riffing. It is a perfect riff film in that it's just easy to make fun of, and it doesn't hurt to watch. It's pretty bad.
Oh, it's bad.
I guess now if anybody said they wanted to watch it, I would say okay.
Yeah.
I think Sam made me watch part of it at some point recently. It was awful.
I do not want to.
What's funny to me is the part that makes me most squeamish is when they go, "What's your first name? Mario. What's your last name? Mario.
How many Marios is there?
Mario." I was like, okay, I was able to bite and accept everything else. I had to had to really go out there. But really,
My favorite part of the movie is watching Bob Hoskins fuck the camera with his eyes. He practically turns to the audience and is like, "Why are you watching this shit? Why?"
That's bad.
1994 Double Dragon. I've never seen it.
pass. Never
No?
saw it.
1994 Street Fighter.
Oh, it's so awful.
Raul Julia's final film before he died, and Raul Julia was so good as Gomez Adams, and even in
And who did he play?
he played M. Bison.
That's what I thought.
He was the villain.
But watching Jean-Claude Van Damme be like, "We are going to go in there and kick Bison's ass" in the shittiest accent that is not American at all. Like, and the thing about, oh god, what's the character's name? Guile. Is that he's so fucking America, he shits out red, white, and blue.
He shits flags, yeah.
Like, they really, like...
They just overdid it.
It's so bad, it's bad.
It's bad, it's bad. It's another movie ripe for riffing, but there's no value from it.
Well, like, it
It's
doesn't
just-
have the nostalgia.
And again, this is based on memory. I haven't seen it in a long... I have seen it, but it's been a long time.
When I was a kid, I loved it because Blanca was in it.
How did they do that? That wasn't
I don't know.
CG.
I don't remember. He was like a human.
outfit?
He was a human who got like zapped up and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
And they did it like they did the old Hulk show. They just got some
so
jacked up guy, painted him green, and put a wig.
Okay, gotcha. Mortal Kombat's 1995 and 97 for Annihilation.
That movie still I mean, it's bad, but it holds up. And here is why
still
I still
like
love,
Mortal
Here's
Kombat.
why I still love it. One of the best soundtracks.
Soundtrack was good.
To be fair, the theme song is literally them yelling out Mortal Kombat and then naming characters in the game.
But the beat, man.
Dun, dun, bam, 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 bam. I was just like, oh shit, yeah, like I got it.
That was on the radio all the time in 95 also.
And watch
on the
and just
radio?
and as a kid getting like so stoked when Liu Kang's Animality came out and he turned into the dragon and I'm talking about
How
the
old were you
sequel.
in 95?
I was 8.
Okay. Do you remember? They even probably played it on like Radio Disney and stuff. Like it was that ubiquitous.
I don't have any cable.
But it's like Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. Nothing, not ringing any bells. That's fair. We fucked it up pretty bad. Mortal Kombat, I liked. I liked it.
I watched
Annihilation,
it.
I think I had to go get an STD test after I watched Annihilation.
I remember it was the first time as a kid I walked out of a movie based on a game going like, oh, that was awful. Ugh. Like, I had fun, but ugh.
I didn't even have fun. I was just like, about halfway through, I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, it was pretty
So if you had seen these movies before you played the game, you probably would not have played the game.
what's the...
That's probably true, but also, like, some of them you can watch without having played the game and probably still appreciate them, and Mortal Kombat is not one of them. I think you need to have an idea of who the characters already inherently are.
Now,
To
it
have an
has one of the
appreciation for it.
worst delivered lines ever, and I wish I'd found the footage. Where what's the name of the...
Do you have chat pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep an eye on it for me. If anybody says something funny or interesting, let me know because I have...
here, so
Yeah, and
we
just
don't
went
care.
nuts.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we don't care anymore.
But what were we-
There's a scene who's the character that does the screaming?
in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, like
Sheena?
I don't know, but
Katana?
anyways, she's the mother of Kitana, and Kitana walks up, and the actress who comes up and is the screamo lady is, "Mother, you're alive," and she goes, "Too bad, you will die." and it's so
That's right.
awful.
I remember
it's
that.
so awful. It's not redeemable.
There is a line in the movie, and I don't even actually remember what it is, but there are some things that I've heard in media where whenever I say that, and it's just a normal everyday phrase, but I always think of the film whenever I say that normal phrase. I can't remember what it is, but it's Shang Tsung or Liu Kang or something.
Dude, do you remember?
Exactly.
Goro!
Yeah, Goro! Yeah, we yell "Yeah, Goro" every now and again. Also, like, the effects in it were pretty good. And also, the movie did a pretty good job of not taking itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, the scene where Christopher Lambert, who plays Raiden. It's not Raiden, because Raiden's Metal Gear, but Raiden, he's like, "The fate of the world rests in your hands." Sorry. Like, kind of acknowledges, like, that he's being overdramatic and stuff. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, they're just sort of rolling with it.
The thing about those movies, though, is that even though they were bad, they held pretty true to the source material.
I agree.
Which is what I appreciated.
Yeah. Okay. 1999 in America, Pokemon. Anybody see the Pokemon film?
Oh.
Animated film?
Oh, yeah. I cried. I fucking cried.
Was it when Pikachu was crying and slapping himself?
And then all the other Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And then all the other Pokemon cried. And their collective tears turned Ash from stone back to flesh.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that clip just on.
I remember,
memes.
Like, yeah,
I remember
the Pikachu is like not one. He's not fighting him. Like
He's
they're trying to get
zapping.
the two Pikachu's to fight, and one of them's fighting, and the other one won't. And so the other Pikachu that's fighting him is realizing that he's not fighting back, and so he's grabbing him and he's like slapping the shit out of him, and then he starts crying, and you're like,
No, it's when Ash died though, and then Pikachu, because Pikachu resorts throughout the entire TV series to zapping Ash as like a means of affection or being like, hey, snap to it.
Yeah.
And so Ash turns to stone when two Psybeams hit him from both sides, which apparently is what you do when you get hit by Psybeams. And
I don't know enough about Pokemon.
oh, I don't know. I'm fairly sure, like even in the Pokemon universe, that's utter shit.
Oh, okay.
But Mew and Mewtwo are like duking it out, and Ash gets hit by a dual Psybeam from both sides because he's running in the way, and he's like, stop! And he gets turned to stone, and then Pikachu is sitting there zapping him like, wake up! Dear God, wake up! And as a
He's
kid,
a fan of the Pokemon movies.
Who is?
as a kid, I just
Game Guy.
cried. Me and my two brothers and my mom went to that movie, and me, Aaron, and Seth were just crying. And even my mom, who tolerated that movie like a champ, did not want to be there, but took her sons to see a movie they wanted to see.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, like I saw her. I remember her
I took-
face at like she was just like, wow, that's
Touching.
deep.
I remember I took my sister to go see it, and I remember I was like 16. What was this, 99? Yeah, I was like 16, okay? So give me a little leeway here. Cut me some slack.
Hey, relax.
But I was
You're in good company.
backing
Safe
out.
place.
I had gone to see the movie with my little sister, who at the time was like 6 or 7. I took her to go see it. And I was backing out of the theater, and I was like, I can't back out anymore as I'm trying to get out of the space. And I realized that I had been turning the wheel, and so I was going against a car, and I was like, oh, shoot. And so I pulled forward a little bit, and I saw the other car go, like, fall back down on its tires. I was like, and I just backed out and, like, sped away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember that sticks in my head as, like,
I hope you
shitty
learned.
thing I
hope
did.
you learned from that.
I feel very guilty about it. I did not see Wing Commander. Did anybody see
No.
Wing Commander, the 1999 film?
No.
We got a nod from the studio audience. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. It's right in the middle.
But he also likes bad things.
This is true. This is a Dynasty Warriors player we're talking about here.
Hey, whoa.
Okay, this
Dynasty Warriors is a fucking gem.
and this one from
Have they made that
2001.
new movie yet?
No. Oh
Well,
no.
They have Red Cliff.
Red Cliff Chibi is sort of like
But
Dynasty
it's
Warriors.
not Dynasty Warriors
Even-
the game. It is based on a
It's-
long-standing.
It's a history of China, or about
it's a
the
Chinese
Warring
mythology.
Three Kingdoms.
They are both based on the same.
They're both based on the same thing,
source
yes.
material.
This one from 2001, I would argue, is a decent film.
Okay.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
I
The
was
first
gonna
Tomb
bring up
Raider.
Tomb
Yep.
Raider.
Okay.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
I liked it a lot, and
Yep.
I liked the game. I liked the movie.
It was a
fan.
fair representation. I saw it as a kid, and you know my standards were not like matured at the time.
Sure.
I watched the movie and I was like, that did a good job of being like intriguing, fun, and character development, and based
Yeah.
on a
It was
game.
like well produced. If I remember right, it was like well produced.
Mm-hmm.
Like Angelina did great.
She did great. One of the things I really liked about her were her body movements. I felt like they were pretty true to
the game?
to the same like movements of the character in the game.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
So did you play Tomb Raider, like the games?
Mhm.
I can't say I did.
Those games were hard as shit. So the earlier ones, I would like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I used to get really frustrated. I didn't get very far. Like I never finished them,
Oh.
but I did play them as a kid on the original PlayStation. And I really liked it. So when the movie came out, I was super excited.
2001. This is not directly based on a game, but is based on a game franchise. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Never saw it, and I'm glad.
You never saw Final Fantasy: The Spirits
No.
Within? Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within is the highest rated out of every movie on this list. It is the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes movie at 43%, 44%.
Wow.
There is not a
going
game that gets above 50. It's not a movie based on a game that gets above
I
50.
would think
on Rotten
that a
Tomatoes.
more relatable one is the Final Fantasy VII movie. What's the
Advent Children.
Advent Children.
Yes. I think that The Spirits Within is probably a better film.
Right. I'm just saying in terms of movies based on games, that one.
Advent Children I liked. I totally get why people didn't.
Oh, I don't.
I have no reason to. I'm not going to argue with you. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it.
Are you talking about complete or
And I do make a differentiate between the original release and the complete edition. The complete edition actually was like, oh, that makes all of this. It makes all of this shit make so much more sense.
I never saw the complete edition. I don't think I've seen a movie that seemed more true to the original source because
Than Advent Children?
But it was so true to the original source that it just kind
of... It was like up its own ass.
Yeah, and it made it an unwatchable movie for any... Like, if I showed it to I was like, oh, Mom, we should watch this. She would be like,
the fuck is that?
Why did we just watch that?
What the fuck is that?
Like, there was no character explanation. Right. It assumes you know everything about it already. So
that's why you 100% on you having finished.
That's why movies based on games need to explain to the audience as if it was for the first time experiencing.
And then when you do that, people that come in knowing this stuff already, which is why it takes, I mean, it was marketed as essentially a sequel.
Yeah.
So
they had a target audience versus other movies.
Anybody see the second Tomb Raider film? I didn't.
A long time ago.
I did.
It held up. It didn't like, it wasn't spectacular, but it held up.
I'm trying to remember it now because
it's called The Cradle of Life. Still Angelina.
Yeah, I really loved the first movie and like her ass looked amazing in it. I just remember even as a kid being like, I want.
Oh, that's the one I want.
Yeah, basically. So I'm having trouble remembering the second because that's all I can think about right now. But yeah.
And now we get into Uwe Boll and his stream of shit. If I understand correctly, you get in Germany, the government will pay you to make a film if you're producing a film. And I'm sure there's rules I don't understand about this, and I may have stuff wrong. This is my understanding. If you make a movie in Germany and it is released, the government pays you to do that. They're funding the arts. They will pay. So if you make a cheap ass fucking bullshit, if he buys the license for House of the Dead or his first one, House of the Dead 2003, and you just shit out the fastest fucking thing you can, he'll still make money on it because he's getting the funding for it. And even if the film doesn't make money, he's made money. And so he just shit out House of the Dead 2003, Alone in the Dark 2005, Blood Rain 2006, DOA Dead or Alive in 2006 again, Postal in 2007, which I was watching all of these, like, why? And getting so mad at him because he was giving gamers a bad name. It's people who are going to see these movies for the first time. He's not taking it serious. He's not taking it seriously.
Not at all.
He's not taking the film seriously. He's not taking the game seriously. It's just bad for everyone all around. And I don't mind if, so I rip on Jurassic World a lot, right? I hate that fucking film. But I also, there are things about it that it doesn't make me mad the way these make me mad, because they try to do a thing and then, like I say, they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and I've gone over that before.
They failed at something, they had respect for what they were trying to do.
Yes.
They had respect for the source. They had
correct.
They were trying to make a genuine sequel and not trying to just make money.
Right. And this is just the cheapest bullshit, except for Postal in 2007, which was like he looked back on his work and was like, I'm kind of shit. So let's make a movie.
Let's actually try.
Like, Uwe Boll is in the film as Uwe Boll, and the guy in Postal, I think kills him.
Cool.
And I'm like, okay, he sort of is admitting.
I'll say this: I never saw the DOA games, the DOA movie, but I've seen scenes from it. And I almost want to say that it took its inspiration from Mortal Kombat. It was like, I want to be that shitty or shittier.
Challenge accepted.
He did do, In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale, which is a film with Jason Statham, supposedly based on the Dungeon Siege video games, that in no way that I can see is. And it's just like a high fantasy film. And is one of the greatest deliveries of any line ever. is Ray Liotta plays the villain, and one of the heroes, or maybe one of his subordinates, comes in, and he's like, "What should we do? Do you think we should do this? What's going on? What's all this?" And he turns and he goes, "Questions?" And I just like you look around, and you're like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, I'm not going to go through all of Uwe Boll's films because there's a lot of bullshit.
There's a lot of you're wading knee deep in human feces.
The Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson 2005 Doom.
This is a good example of so here.
Thumbs up from studio audience.
No.
Thumbs up.
Doom.
I liked Doom.
I enjoyed the shit out of it. Now, is it a good movie? No, but it's not gonna be because it's based off an odd game.
Yeah,
but it did such a great job of being representing the source material well, not taking itself seriously, having a lot of fun, which is what you do in the damn game of Doom. You have fun. Well, way to go. Well done.
we're gonna have to do some more. We're gonna have to come back and do more movies based on games. Talk some other time because we're quickly running out of time.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What did you think about the sequence where it was first person?
The first person sequence in Doom, I thought, was exactly where it should be in the film, and as long as it needed to be in the film.
It was cool. It was fun, and it was an adrenaline ride. It was
Stuff
great.
like that just makes me sick. It gives me kind of motion sickness.
Oh, and first
for sure.
So you couldn't watch what was that? Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, no,
Harry.
I started watching that one.
I haven't seen that. I want to watch.
I do want to watch. I haven't seen it
I
either.
could not finish it.
Okay, so what do you think about movies like Tron, Pixel, that Adam Sandler abortion, or Wreck-It Ralph? Like movies that are not based on specific titles but pulled from...
Wreck-It Ralph was fantastic.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Thank you. I will. It was fantastic and fun, and it handled games in a good and heart. Just it did what it wanted to do very well. Pixels, why bother talking about that shit? And what was the other one? Tron.
Tron was a really pretty music video.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of what it was. It was a movie that didn't need to be. It was very pretty.
It didn't need to be there, but it was really pretty, and I find value in it.
I liked both of the Tron movies.
You did?
The original and the new one. I don't know. I really enjoyed them.
I got nothing against
There's
the first
something
one.
about the aesthetic of it and the colors. The way that keep
it's enjoyable.
My eyes on it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm not going to go and say it was a good movie, but it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I don't know about the value as far as the in between
contributing to the genre or something.
But it was beautiful. The soundtrack really was amazing. I'm hearing it in my head right now, just that kind of low hum with I loved it.
Hola, Rotoplax. Gracias para estar aquí.
Thanks for being here.
I think I got thanks for being here. I've tried.
Como se dice, welcome to Gutter Nerd. We need to figure out.
Bienvenidos a la Gutter Nerds.
Yeah.
I think something like that. But so
we need to move upwards.
Wreck-It Ralph. My problem with Wreck-It Ralph was that I feel like it just the marketing lied to me. The movie's actually fine. It's a fine film, but it was supposed to be, I thought, a fan. So you guys, when I say the difference between a children's film and a family film, you know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. A family film is for everybody. A children's film is for kids, for 6-year-olds and under, or whatever, 8-year-olds and under. I thought Wreck-It Ralph, to me, was going to be a family film about video games, referencing video games, sort of poking fun at them and bringing in characters that I liked and stuff like that. And it front crams them in the first third of the film, and then it just becomes a candy movie. And then they ditch the video game thing altogether. It's just out the window. There's no more game characters after the first 10-15 minutes. It's a movie for children. There's not much as an adult that I enjoyed after the first 20 minutes. So when he's rummaging through the box and he pulls out just the exclamation point and it does the Metal Gear, I'm like, hey! But I can just watch the first 15 minutes of the film and then turn it off. That's fine. That's my problem.
I thought it was very touching. It established, hey, we're in the video game universe of video games. But It's not going to be a 90-minute cameo fest. It's not about like, and here comes Mario.
No.
Validate us, Mario. It's them. Wreck-It Ralph. And then walks off.
That's the other extreme, though, right? Like, you could still not abandon your premise and get...
Like, what, is it going to be like Wreck-It Ralph 2, Wreck-It Ralph saves Mario? And like the whole movie is about Mario? And then it's like, hey, look, and Wreck-It Ralph is here.
No, but you just don't... All I'm saying is don't abandon your premise. That's it. That's all I needed you to do.
It didn't. It take place in the universe of video games, and it established that, hey, we are in a universe of video games. Okay, now here's the story.
Okay. Why establish the world if you're not going to utilize it after the first...
It was utilized.
It could have been in any other world. There was nothing intrinsic to the candy world that made it a video game thing. There was racing and candy.
I'm failing to see your point.
It could have been a race car movie, and they could have told that exact same story.
No, they couldn't.
They could be. It could have been in the world of candy, and could have told the exact same story. Like, there's nothing about the video game.
I mean, they could have told Finding Nemo about a father who loses his son in San Antonio and has to find it.
Right. There are variations that you can do, but if they didn't leave the water in Finding Nemo, right? Like, they didn't stop using fish after the first 20 minutes, right? Like, there's other fish and aquatic creatures throughout the film.
Batter Babe said they go from game to game throughout the film.
They go from game to game for the first 20 minutes. And then when they get to
the whole film. The ending is them going through the different games and all that stuff. Because everything's coming to an end.
And it's one game invading another game.
Yes.
The alien shoot 'em up game invading the Candyland game.
Okay,
Then the lead villain is from a separate racing game who took over this racing game because his old racing game got trashed.
Yeah,
The whole thing is about all games.
I disagree. I think that is not correct, but that's fair.
Ooh, we should watch it.
But also, like, my other point being that it's not, like, it's for children and, like, a child would really enjoy it. And it's not...
I enjoyed it too.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't enjoy it as an adult. I'm saying that I didn't enjoy it as an adult.
Too. Yeah. It is a child and up movie. It is a child and up.
So what game needs a movie to be made from it? What game franchise do you want to see a movie of, like, real bad?
Here we go. It's Drake's Uncharted. According to Calvin, but only if they have Nathan Fillion play
the problem with that is that the game's already so cinematic. I don't think the film can add anything to it.
I know, but I want to see Nathan Fillion.
You just want to see Nathan Fillion as Nathan.
Yeah, like what do I want? Here's
heard Fallout.
Ratchet and Clank was a perfect example of a movie based on a game that was so 100% source based, and it was basically a reboot of the games in movie form. And didn't need that. I enjoyed it, but it didn't need to happen. But no.
What about you, Whitney? What game that they could announce based on a video game that you'd be like, yes?
I swear to God. No, wait.
What am I
Angry
gonna
Birds
say?
already came out.
No, that's already.
I've never played Angry Birds.
Don't.
And I will never download the app.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Don't play Angry Birds, guys. Don't play Angry Birds.
I think, I know this is really dumb, and there probably are movies like it, but I really liked playing Earth Defense Force, and I wouldn't mind a movie based on
Earth
that.
Defense Force movie in the vein of Starship Troopers might not be the worst idea in the world.
Intriguing much.
Yeah.
I know that sounds so stupid, but
not too bad.
Solitaire, the game, the movie.
And there are even movies based on non-video games like Battleship.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Battleship?
Yeah, that was bad.
Were there aliens in that movie?
I think so. I know there were numbers and letters.
Oh my god.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to bring up, but I think we're going to talk about it at the end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm trying to think of other video games that I would want to see in movie form.
And we're all looking at Sam's
so, like,
thing of all his movies.
I was thinking of Dark Souls, but the story of Dark Souls can't be told as a film because I think it only works in game format because it relies on your exploration and what you notice and pick out of the world.
Here's a game franchise that I'm fairly sure we will see as a movie eventually, the Mass Effect series. But what I would like to see is a BioShock movie.
BioShock might work as a...
And that used to be in. The problem is that that game has a lot to do with personal choices and alternate endings.
The BioShock is essentially an essay on gaming as a medium, and so making it a film might destroy the concept, might break its own concept.
Other games that I foresee.
Game Guy gave a cheer for Earth Defense Force and a heart. That's for sure.
A couple of games.
Mass Effect. I would love Mass Effect would be a great ass movie.
Yeah.
A great fucking movie. Good job, Chuck. Yes. That's the one. That's the one I would invest in.
Didn't I say that earlier?
I don't.
He totally just.
Did you say Mass Effect?
You say?
No, my God. I literally was like, Mass Effect would be in Steam, and you were like, Chuck just said Mass Effect!
Instead, I'm sorry.
Yep,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I do a lot here. BioShock got canceled because the
rating system.
They wanted
to
it
do
to
rating
be
R,
which if you're gonna do it right.
A Far Cry movie wouldn't be so bad. It'd be interesting.
Far Cry has been made into a movie by Uwe Boll. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I take everything back.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that one that I've seen done like with a fan trailer or a fan movie? I think Portal. I saw someone do a fan thing of Portal, which I think is exactly far as that ever needs to be taken.
Yeah.
Was the Prince of Persia movie in line with the Prince of Persia? Was
game?
I mean, aside from
it's based on the game series, and it wasn't bad enough to be good. It was mediocre enough to be completely forgettable.
Yeah, because I'm struggling.
And I think that's what's going to happen with the Assassin's Creed movies too. It's just going to be forgotten.
I fell asleep during the Assassin's Creed movie.
I really liked it at the time, and then sort of I want to watch it again because in retrospect it started to like collapse under its own weight. Maybe I just wanted to like it really hard, but I'm going to watch it again because I liked it at the time. And we didn't even touch like Resident Evil. I will say real quick that
Resident
Silent
Evil
Hill
needs its own category of.
I will say
that
that's probably true. Also, Silent Hill was the first one especially is a phenomenal film because it captures the essence of the game.
Scares the shit out of you.
It tells you a little more of the story and fills out the world, but it also is weird enough to make you wonder like what the fuck is going on, which is what the game does. It's also disturbing as fuck. Mm-hmm. There's some really disturbing shit in that film.
What about Fatal Frame? The Fatal Frame franchise might be an interesting movie sequence.
I think that there may be Japanese films, Fatal Frame films, but I'm not sure. But it would probably be good. Before I leave Silent Hill, though, I do want to like they use a mix of digital and practical effects in that film, which at the time was fairly unusual, and we're starting to see more practical effects being used. But it makes it terrifying. It's Silent Hill is a good scary film.
Game Guy said Outlast.
Oh, Outlast is a game that I haven't played, but it's a horror game.
How well makeup would look.
Yes, well make-upped would be good. That was a stupid sentence. It would need to be well make-upped to be good, and seeing that done well would be really cool. But I haven't played Outlast.
One of the things where it has to, like, it would be a big responsibility to take on that kind of a project.
Right. And I guess...
What about...
Telling your own story is fine, and telling your own story within a world or based on a world is fine. But we can kind of tell if you know the source material well or not. Mm-hmm. And if you respect it.
I was just thinking, what's this? I'm drawing a blank on the game.
Sam earlier Sam said our studio audience yelled Fallout.
Yeah. Fallout or any of the Elder Scrolls. And I've seen movies that are based off of like Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah.
And they're bad. They're so bad.
Dungeons and Dragons.
They're so bad.
And
there's lots of them.
Good.
They're so bad.
Oh my! I need to.
We'll watch them. You and I will have a movie day and watch that. It's utter garbage.
We will come back to this topic on another time because this is a meaty, beefy.
We've got tons to still talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, Resident Evil alone, like I said,
it could be its own thing.
Be its own thing.
So now we're going to move into the part of the night where we toast. So if you guys would like to toast with us, by all means, grab your favorite drink. If you have your Gutter Nerds glass, grab that. If you don't, just grab whatever's nearby. Jonathan, what are you toasting with this evening?
I am toasting to the single best.
What with?
Oh. a Fireball-ish. It's like a cinnamon whiskey. It's not Fireball, but it might as well be.
It might as well be Fireball.
Because
And
Daddy likes it,
Whitney,
Daddy likes
your glass is right there.
Oh, thank you.
What are you toasting with tonight?
It's a surprise, I think, because I didn't put anything in it.
It's just water. It's just water.
I'm taking a risk drinking this.
And I am toasting with Tito's handmade vodka. It's a Texas-based vodka, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
And Fanta Orange.
you are asking for trouble.
'Cause I'm nutty. All right, Jonathan, your toast first, please.
Well, this is the only toast I have for any video game or any movie based on a game.
Yeah.
And it is not a video game. I am toasting the movie Clue because holy fucking shit, that's how you do a game into a movie.
And that I think is our collective toast for
Yes,
the evening
it
is
is,
to
'cause
Clue.
I love that movie.
That's the only one I
It's
got.
it's one of the best adaptations. Period. It is one of the best scripts of all time, and all of the performances completely nailed. And there was the gimmick that when the film came out, you didn't
had
know which
different
ending
endings.
you were gonna get.
I have had
And so it
arguments-
means you go
I've had
back and buy
arguments
more
with the person. I was
tickets.
like, did you? How crazy was the ending when this? And they're like, no. What are you talking about? Like friendships were tested when people argued because they knew I'm fucking right. You're an idiot. And then like not realizing there were multiple endings, just like the damn Butterfly Effect movies.
Wait, were there multiple endings in the Butterfly Effect movies when they released?
Yeah.
Oh, I only ever watched it on video, so I wouldn't know.
Yep.
To Clue.
Clue.
And if you guys...
Your singing telegram.
Bam! If you guys want to buy our Gutter Nerds glass and toast with us, then there it is right there. If you go to our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/gutternerds. Click the Shop Now button. And what's funny?
You have an entire camera dedicated to that.
I have a third camera. I want to fucking use
It's been
it.
staring there the whole time. I was like, oh, he's just not using it anymore. And then I realized, wait,
Yeah.
somewhere in this building, it's right there.
You can also pick this up. You can buy it in our Facebook store. We'll mail it to you. We also have I didn't grab it, but we also if in our shop the AC Archive, the Angry Cuddles shirts are about to be discontinued. Don't worry, June, I still have yours put aside. But if you want to buy that, this is basically your last chance this week. This weekend, we're going to Free Comic Book Day at Y2 Comics in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm just going to be getting rid of all of the old AC shit. So there's that. But we're stocked in glasses. We will be selling the glasses as well at Free Comic Book Day. But if you want to order one now, then I will ship it to you, and you can toast with us on the podcast.
Chuck, he had Tito's in his Fanta.
Yes.
Said, not an alcoholic, Tito? No.
No, it was alcoholic.
He's fully alcoholic.
And I didn't drink it all this time. Last time we did the toast, I drank it, and then I was like drunk for the last few minutes of the podcast. Like it was.
I just
man.
I downed that what was probably a double, and I as I finished, I was like, I can drive home.
I'm not drinking anymore on podcast because that's what got me killed on the Diablo thing. I think I really would have come out on top.
I was pissed about my death on that. Like,
I'm editing the Diablo series. Sam and I are about to finish it. We're in the final chapter, the DLC chapter. Either one of us could die at that point as well. And then when it's all done, I will make a compilation video of the deaths and reactions and the enshrinements in the Hall of Heroes and stuff like that.
Mine was
Only time.
we need to have like just a you and me corner. Like,
This is sad.
All right, guys, don't forget you can follow us on all of our social media outlets: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. It's all Gutter Nerds there, so go for that. And next week we're going to talk about the luck stat and luck in video games and converse with that. I believe Chuck and Lauren will both be here next week.
I'm on board if you need me.
Sweet, fantastic.
Because I have plenty to say about it.
But, thank you, June. She's putting the links in the chat. Also, if you haven't yet, if you're watching on Twitch or watching on replay, or if you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, check out our Twitch page and follow us on Twitch. We're headed towards, our next goal is 75. We got past 60 and we're headed towards 75 now.
That's awesome.
We can do it.
My name is Steven.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jonathan.
And we'll see you guys next time.